Joining us right now is our food historian, Jay Steiner. Jay, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. So yeah, king cakes, obviously part and parcel of Mardi Gras, but as I say, whether working at Vermilionville or Cajun food tours, traditions can be tricky things. Sometimes 400 years old, sometimes 40 years old, sometimes a little less than that. So here in our area of Acadiana, king cakes have only been a big mainstay for really only about the last half century. Of course, going back further to New Orleans, they would have been incorporated with Mardi Gras before. I'm holding here a little example of a more traditional French-style galette de roi. So going way back to the old European tradition, king cakes were not associated with what we think of as Mardi Gras. More associated with Epiphany. So January 6th, 12th night, the beginning of carnival season. And so whether you have a galette de roi in France, a Koningtort in the Low Countries like Belgium or up around northwest Germany, or a Rosco de Reyes in Spain and now in Mexico, those are mostly only on January 6th. So Dia de Reyes in Mexico, you'll see a lot of king cakes. And actually, if you notice, this doesn't look too much like a lot of our traditional, more modern Louisiana king cakes. If you were to see a Rosco de Reyes in Spain or in Mexico, that looks more like our ringed cakes with the icing and the colors and everything like that. But over time, you know, things change, things evolve. Cultural evolution is fun. And of course, we have our little plastic baby, but originally it would have been La Fête des Fèves or La Fête des Haricots, the Feast of the Bean.
So they would have put a bean in there?
A little bean. Nowadays in France, a lot of times they'll put a little small painting, like a little porcelain painting of a picture of the Nativity, because remember, after all, Epiphany is when the three magi, the three wise men, little baby Jesus, you know, gold, frankincense, myrrh, all that stuff. But they would put a little bean in there, a dried bean. And the tradition was at the party, they would take it, cut it up, put a sheet over it. Because remember, three wise men were looking in the dark, following the stars. And the youngest at the little gathering on 12th night would start to pass out the pieces. The first one was set aside for Jesus. The second one was given to le voisin, a neighbor or a passerby. Third one was to the oldest, and then going down toward the youngest one, and he would get the last piece. And whoever got the bean was le roi de haricot, le roi de fèves, the king of the bean.
I want to be the king of the bean. That is such a fun.
There you go.
It's cool to see how everything evolved too.
Oh yeah. We would make you la reine d'haricot, the queen of the bean. So yeah. And every time you drank, we had to toast la reine boit, the queen drinks.
That is so fun. And you're right. I never knew there was the French king cake too when I first moved here. But it's fun to see how it has evolved over the years.
Yeah, and that's the coolest part about, that's why I love doing food history, because you know, grubbing down is a lot more fun than reading microfiches in a library personally, but you can track to see how people move, how we get new ingredients, how things come in. It opens up all parts of our lives just by looking at what people used to eat and what they eat today and how we get from A to B.
I am so excited. I'm so excited you're here. You're going to be tasting all 15.
I will use my expertise. I'm ready. I didn't eat breakfast, and I've got a 5K run later today, so I will burn it off. So.
He's preparing. Jay, I'll let you go to start judging. Thanks so much for giving us a history lesson. Y'all, I'm going to step out of the shot right now. Our judges are hard at work right now. I see Miss